All right, people. We have literally just made it home. I'm not joking. I've just come through the front door. I've asked the missus to make me a drink because I'm not feeling great still. But we've just come from Moses Italma versus Jermaine Franklin presser. I did the face off for that. I interviewed both men. I spoke to Ezra Taylor and Willie Hutchinson. I did the face off for that. I interviewed both men. And in the midst of doing that, my phone was going mad. Like brr, 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 because we got the announcement that Anthony Joshua will fight Jake Paul December 19th in Miami. And this has blown up the internet. This will, without doubt, be bigger than AJ versus. One second. This will be no doubt bigger than AJ versus. Sorry, AJ. This Terence Crawford versus Canelo. This will be much bigger. Babes, come on. This. Merci. There you go. All right. All right. Where are we? There's going to be quite a few questions coming through, and we're going to try and get through tomorrow. What's this like the visuals? What visuals? Don't tell me they've done something to the bloody like StreamYard have done something crazy. One second, guys. We'll try and get this sorted because I don't want any issues with this. I want it to be nice and simple. 2 secs. Are there any more visuals? Someone let me know if this is normal now because I don't want any nonsense on the StreamYard today. Let me just see in the comment section. I'm gonna go straight to the bottom. Someone tell me if there's any. Are we good? Visuals. It's in portrait out for fuck's sake. 1 second. We'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. 1 second. Oh, stay there. Stay there. Stay there. All right, we're good. We're good. All right, thank God. Someone said not good. Someone said all good. I don't know what some. I'm gonna trust. I'm gonna trust Philly Trez, who said it's good. Oh, there's 2 lives going. All right, 1 second. We're gonna have to sack that off. We're not having that. We're not having that. Hold on, sex people. We're not having 2 lives going. 2 seconds. You know, I can't sort it. I know what you mean. There's another live going on in the corner. I don't know what to do with it, which is very, very annoying because it's pissed me off. Which is upsetting. But it is what it is at the moment. I think StreamYard have got some madness going on. All right, anyway, let's get to it. Let's get to it. We're gonna have to just be patient and get through this. Because it's either that or I cancel the live, which I don't want to do. Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, thoughts. Like, this is no longer a Conor Ben live. Sorry, this isn't a Chris Eubank Jr. live. We'll get to that another time. This is an Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul live. And those are the questions that I'm going to be answering on this live. So get all your questions in about AJ versus Jake Paul, which, look, I know there are a number of people that don't like it for whatever reason. I mean, everyone's got different reasons. It's funny because there was this narrative of AJ's done, he should retire after Daniel Dubois. So I guess he can kind of do what he wants to do. But I will say this before I answer the hundreds of questions that are coming in. If you're any fighter, any boxer right now in any weight class gets the phone call to fight Jake Paul, they're taking it. Gets that contract across their table, they're taking it. Look how many fighters have put their hand up to fight Jake Paul as soon as they realize the Gervonta Davis fight ain't happening. Look how many did it. So I don't know. Again, I understand why some are upset, but I think the narrative's gone a bit too far. All right, let's see if I can get some AJ questions in very quickly. All right, this is one that a lot of people have asked. Is there not a danger that Paul could actually literally get killed? Okay. I hope not. I mean, boxing's dangerous, right? I mean, any boxer, you can have two fucking killers going in there with each other, and there's a danger. I think there's a danger that Jake Paul can get hurt. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not gonna sort of change the narrative. I mean, AJ, I still think is one of the best heavyweights in the world. Like he's guaranteed top 10, right? Right. His last fight was for the IBF heavyweight title. That's where AJ is. So the drop off is the drop off from who Jake Paul just fought to AJ. Was it Chavez? To AJ is just insane. Like it's ridiculous. So yeah, there's a massive danger. AJ could and should finish this fight in the first couple of minutes. I'm not joking. He could finish it in the first couple of minutes. Whoa. Someone's telling me Usyk is just someone's telling me that Usyk is just vacated. So many questions are coming in. Ian Hampton says, Ade, let's be honest, the only reason he's doing this is for the bank balance. But here's the question. Why a guy who's earned multiple millions deciding to risk his whole reputation and respect? How? How is he risking his reputation? What if he loses? Like again, no one would turn this down. And look, I don't want to be AJ's cheerleader here because I know you guys think that I'm an AJ fanboy, but AJ was always going to have a gimme fight in December. Eddie always said that. And if you're AJ and a Tony Yoka contract comes in front of you and a Jake Paul contract comes in front of you, and the Jake Paul contract says, I don't know the numbers, by the way, but let's just guess, right? It says 60 million. And the Tony Yoka fight is going to generate AJ 20. Which one do you expect him to take? Which one do you expect him to take? There's only one fight AJ wouldn't take to fight, would take instead of Jake Paul, and that's Tyson Fury. That's it. There's no other contract that's going to come across his table and he's just going to decide to fight anyone else apart from Jake Paul. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. Okay, that's what people are telling me. People are telling me Usyk has vacated the WBO belt. So does this mean that Fabio Wardy just gets upgraded automatically to world champion? Do we have another heavyweight world champion? That's crazy. There's so much to talk about. Fabio is world champion, everyone's saying. Crazy. What do you think of Jake Paul being the A side because it's announced as Jake Paul versus AJ and not AJ versus Paul? Strange. Obviously, in my lifetime, AJ's always been the A side. I don't really think that kind of stuff matters. I think I've always got carried away with that kind of shit. A side, B side, who walks first, whose name's first, whose picture's on the poster first. Ultimately, it's what is in the bank balance for these fighters. And that's really what they care about. But it is weird. I can't lie, to see Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is strange. Very, very strange. This one, I do not blame him for taking the money. No, you can't. You can't. If we pretend that any fighter wouldn't do it, we're lying. Well, honestly, we're lying. Someone said to me, Ngannou said no to it. Ngannou actually said no to the offer, the first offer that was sent. Ngannou didn't say no to the fight. I think Ngannou maybe just reached for a bigger number and they said, 1 second, let's call AJ. Maybe. I'm not quite sure. Sean KMG says, AJ versus Paul is entertainment. People who cry just don't buy. AJ's having a good time. Leave him be. Both adults. You know the thing as well about my sticking up for AJ. And by the way, look, I want AJ to fight Daniel Dubois again. I want to get a few things clear. I would love to see AJ sort of roll the dice with Tyson Fury. I'd love to see AJ fight Fabio Wardley. Very unlikely, but I still think AJ can compete with a lot of those guys. What AJ has done for British boxing for a decade, when the sport was on its arse a little bit, AJ did fucking tremendous things to bring the sport back. Is he not allowed one little knock? Is it not allowed? No, it's not, or is it? Like, come on, man. Like, a number of you watched boxing because of fucking AJ. So no, I feel like he's been mistreated a bit. I think he's been treated too hardly. Okay, so a couple of super chats have just come in saying that Fabio Wardley is world champion. Appreciate the super chats. Usyk just vacated. Knowing Fabio, how I think I know Fabio, I don't think Fabio is going to want to win or become a world champion that way. I mean, look, it was a great fight. That fight could have been a world title fight, him versus Joseph Parker. But no one wants to just be given a belt. I don't think. I'm not sure. I don't think that's what he wants. All right. All right. Let's try and get in order now. All right, let's get in order. There's loads of questions. This one is for those that game. AJ is too vastly powerful for Jake Paul. It's a mismatch in size and ability. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Which is why this is gonna break some fucking numbers on Netflix. Will it be as big as the Mike Tyson one? No, that was ridiculous. But anything else is gonna get destroyed. People are gonna watch because everyone's gonna be captivated by AJ, who I'm hearing has a cap of 245 pounds, versus Jake Paul, who's gonna probably come in around 210. Like this fight shouldn't go beyond the first round. And if it does, you know what I mean? We're like, okay, what's going on with AJ here? Like AJ should be able to go over. I've said this, and look, you know, I've even, you know, reached out to Nikisa, AJ's manager. I'm like, this should go as long as AJ wants it to go, which I think will be 2 minutes. Oh God, this is crazy. Crazy. If this fight does not end in round 1 with a KO, then it's fixed. I mean, I get what people are saying, but look, by the way, Jake Paul's mental. Jake Paul crazy, and this guy, like, do you know what? Yeah, this Jake Paul called out AJ about 4 months ago. Do you remember that? And I kind of laughed it off. I think most people laughed it off. I think he called out. Did he not call out AJ after his last fight? He's got AJ. No. Jesus Christ. Simon Carey says, Ethan Ade, there's own show in the Nigeria card December 19th. Will you be going to that? All right. Now, that card still obviously happens. Man, that's a tough question to ask. Can't lie to you. Because you guys know, like, I'm all about going to Nigeria. That's so important to me. AJ's fighting in Miami. Good evening, Ade. I'm staggered Jake is willing to fight Joshua unless this is some sort of glorified spar. Joshua will cut him in half. First round KO. What a card on Saturday. Loved the show. Card on Saturday was fantastic. Look, we will, if we have time, get to talking about Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. Yeah, I'm flabbergasted that Jake Paul is actually going ahead with this. Flabbergasted. AJ is not damaged goods. AJ is not 45. AJ, you know, hasn't been beaten to a pulp. AJ is still very fresh. AJ is still, for me, a top 7, top 8 heavyweight, right? AJ, I think, can compete with any heavyweight not named Alexander Usyk, because we've seen that twice. That's who Jake Paul is fighting. Do you know how mad that is? It's wild. It's wild. Wild. What's this one about? I've lost all respect for Joseph Parker. He needs to be banned from boxing. He's released a statement. I await the results of the B sample. I am disappointed in it. Obviously, I'm a big Joseph Parker fan. I don't know what's going on. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. Ade, can I ask what level you think Ben actually is? He's going to struggle back to 147, and there's no chance at 154. It's full of killers. He could get Barrios, but he just went life and death with Pac-Man. I think it's difficult. That's a very good question. What level it is? Like. It's hard to know, right? It's very hard to know. I will say this though. Like, if Barrios and Rolly Romero are world champions, so by default they're world level, I think Conor's world level, they're world level. I'm being very serious. Do I put him in the same level as other like Devin Haney and Brian Norman are going to fight? No. Lewis Crocker, I'm not sure. But again, if Rolly Romero and Barrios are considered world level, then Conor's a world level fighter if he can get down to 147. If it's a big if, isn't it? Because we're not sure. 2 seconds. There's a lot of questions about again, I'm seeing a lot of people say, why is AJ risking his legacy? How does that risk your legacy? I'm so confused. Like, are you talking if he were to get chinned? Obviously, then there's a whole different discussion. If AJ gets chinned by fucking hell, if AJ gets chinned by Jake Paul, then yes, you are correct. But how is it risking his legacy if he's just having a fight and then going back to what he was going to do? I think AJ said on a tweet, I think it was a DAZN tweet, he said, DAZN, thank you for letting me do this fight. Obviously, the fight will be on Netflix, and I'll see you back in 2026. So he's merely having a stopgap, making a few million quid, then getting back to it. Obviously, it's a long time since we've seen AJ in a real fight, and I don't know if this is classed as a real fight, but the only way it risks his legacy is if he gets chinned. AJ ain't getting chinned by Jake Paul. No way. No way. All right, 2 secs. Where are we? Someone's basically said this. If Joshua loses to Paul, I will lose all respect for him, even though he's had a great boxing career. Why would you lose respect for him? If someone loses, they lose. Like, I wouldn't lose respect for him. Obviously, his career will be in tatters. I think that's fair to say, but I'm not going to lose respect for him. Yeah, nah, he's okay. He's okay. This can't be true. Any negotiations or any truth to the rumors that Tyson Fury is negotiating for a Fed belt with Logan Paul? They're setting up the narrative of the Paul Slayers for AJ versus Fury back at. No, I've not heard anything in that. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. This is funny. Company man Ade, even though the fight's not on the company I work for, make it make sense. Who is this? Fury Greedy Belly. Like, if you're going to attack me, attack the king, make it make sense, dude. The fight's not on DAZN. Duh. I don't work for Netflix. What is wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Leo Mac, EUBANK entrance, best of all time, but when you're next to 50 Cent, you've got to win. Yeah. Yeah, that was a very strange fight, wasn't it? Like, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Very, don't know, from the very first round, you could just sense like all wasn't right. Look, we have to give credit to Conor Benn. Conor Benn got the job done. And even if the man is showing some sort of weakness, whether it be the weight cut, age, wear and tear, you've got to beat them up. You've got to put it on him to make him look old. And Conor did that. But yeah, Chris Eubank didn't look right from the first round. It's crazy though, because he looked very good in the walkout. Even when the refs had come together, he looked very focused and very good. But then he went on the back foot immediately. And I'm like, what's going on here? What is going on here? Shame. Shame. AJ has a glass jaw now. It could be an upset for him. He has a glass jaw now. AJ has been down, I think, I stand to be corrected here, but I think AJ has hit the canvas the same amount of times as Tyson Fury. It's not a glass jaw. It's if a man that is 260 pounds hits you on the chin, you're going down. It's that simple. This isn't a glass jaw thing. This is if a man that's 260 pounds and fucking throws like he's got a 10-pin bowling ball in their hand, something at your jaw, you're going down. Come on, people. Stop it. Stop it. Hey, Ade, eagerly awaiting the behind the scenes commentary on AJ's latest move. It's a risky one. It's a risky one because obviously he's alienated some fans. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm always Team AJ, and I can understand the logic of doing this. But I also can understand how it's pissed people off because ultimately people want to see AJ in a real fight against someone of note, right? Whether it be a Bacoli, whether it be a Dubois rematch, Cabiel, whoever. You don't really want to see him do this. I just look at it as AJ's done a quick detour and then he's going to get back on track. That's the way I look at it. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. 2 secs. Usman was making serious comeback, having won several rounds in a row before the elbow dropped him. Referee should have docked him a point. He robbed Usman of a chance to win. It was horrendous. Honestly, I'm so upset how we couldn't really talk about it on the zone because they're like, you need to move on, you need to move on. I'm like, well, we're not going to talk about that. I think Barry Jones said something in comms. Like, Usman, look, by the way, give Jack Catchell his flowers because that was a bit of a war. But Jack Catchell's clearly winning the fight. Usman then goes strong from like round 5 onwards, right? Like really strong. I mean, the engine kicked in. And then he has a little slip. Oh no, he gets hit with an elbow thing and then has a little slip. And then he gets caught on the way down as the referee saying break. I'm like, referee, you've just fucked up here. And you're not taking any accountability. We've got the worst refs in the world as far as I'm concerned. The worst. Someone needs to look at our refs. They're not good enough. It's almost the same as like football refereeing in this country. Just not good enough. Totally understand AJ fighting Jake Paul because of the huge payout against the talent. But as a boxing man, if he wanted a fight to warm up, I'd rather he took on Luis Ortiz or Makhmudov. Yes. Yes, not Luis Ortiz, but Makhmudov, yes. But again, and maybe I'm just being a bit like silly with it, but Makhmudov fight, the amount of money, and by the way, guys, all this comes down to money, you know. This is all about money. This isn't about belts anymore. AJ's done those. He's become 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. He's defended his belts a few times when he beat Charles Martin. This is about money. Money. And Makhmudov generates nothing. It generates a little bit because it's AJ. Jake Paul generates everything. And I personally think AJ, like I said, AJ could do him in a couple rounds. Really believe that. AJ should stop him in 2 to 3 rounds if it's not scripted. Yeah, he should. I ain't gonna lie though, I've had nightmares about Jake just closing his eyes and just throwing one and AJ's legs wobbling. I've had nightmares ever since. Like I've just got off the train from Manchester and I was on that train half asleep and I was like doing that, like, please God, don't. God. Ade, have you seen the news just in that Fabio Wardley now the WBO world champion? I have. By the way, that is, let me tell you something, yeah? Let me tell you something. That is the biggest story in boxing in years. And it's a film. Like, honestly, like Fabio Wardley, no amateur fights, white collar Wardley is world champion. Do you know how crazy this is? Like, I remember when Fabio was coming through and people were like, the ceiling was like British champion. That's it, British champion. Fabio Wardley is now world champion. Not Fury, not AJ, not Dubois, not Italma, not Chisora, Wardley. It's just incredible. Why is Jake Paul making this fight? Because Jake Paul loves the limelight. He loves money. He loves taking risks. He loves it all. And this fight gets him all of those. Look, Jake Paul wanted to fight Canelo. Let's not forget this. I mean, obviously AJ size-wise is a completely different beast, but Jake Paul wanted to fight Canelo, and that was that close to being done. Can you see my hands? That close to being done. So he's calling out everyone. Like Jake Paul's literally calling out everyone. Everyone. Crazy. Ade, seriously, if it's anything other than AJ KO, isn't it a joke? Yeah. 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 It's 8 rounder. If this goes more than 3, then Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. It won't go more than 3. It won't go more. There you go. Finally, someone. I do not blame him for taking the money. You can't blame him. You can't blame him. Like, what are we doing? You can't blame him. He wants look. The only person I know that AJ wants to fight. I think people think that me and AJ fucking have each other's phone numbers and I call him. No. But I do speak to people around him. The only person AJ really, really wants to fight is Tyson Fury. All these other fights are like, yeah, that's the only person he wants to fight. Fury doesn't want to fight AJ at the moment. AJ's like, okay, fuck it, I'll go and fight this little kid for 70 million. That's basically it. That's basically it. I know it's not great. I know you don't want to hear that, but that's true. What's this? Do you think there's any way this can be fixed? No, I really don't. Because you know what it is? It's because of what someone said earlier. This massively affects AJ's legacy if he doesn't chin Jake Paul. And I think AJ respects his legacy, what he's done. I think he respects it enough. And not only that, but then if he doesn't chin Jake Paul, and then he tries to sell us the Fury fight, people are like, fuck off. There'll be no interest. So this can't be fixed. And not only can it not be fixed because of that, but do you know how much money you'd have to pay AJ to even try and fix this? AJ's got more money than Jake Paul. Like AJ's not one of these guys coming through that Jake Paul picks out and he's desperate to fight Jake Paul because they're broke. AJ is loaded. Absolutely loaded. So, nah. There isn't enough money in the world to pay AJ to fix a fight. Not enough money in the world. Thoughts on Wardley now being a world champion? I love it. I will say this. I hate fighters being upgraded. I hate it because of the way people view them. Like how many times did Devin Haney get called an email champion? Same thing with Daniel Dubois until Daniel Dubois fought someone named AJ to get the recognition of being a world champion. I don't think fighters like it. You want that moment of imagine that fight that we just saw and they gave him the belt aloft as a world champion. You feel like, yes, I deserve it. Right now, he's on holiday, feet up, and he's been called a world champion. You want that moment. But that being said, it's incredible. But he's going to want that moment. And I guess he's not going to get it until he fights someone. And I guess that person's no longer going to be Alexander Usyk, which suggests to me that Usyk's going to fight Mr. Tyson Fury. That's what I'm getting from that. Oh, I like this one. I don't see a problem with it. Referencing AJ versus Jake Paul. If you're training for a marathon, you need to run a few 5Ks. Fuck it, I'm going to steal that one. Stealing it. It's mine. Who said that? It's mine. I like it. Do you think Joshua will take it seriously and go for the kill? Yes, I do. And I'm hearing that there is a need or want for AJ to get down to 245 pounds. The last time AJ was that weight was when he fought Usyk the second time round. AJ was in incredible shape that day. He looked incredible. Physically, he looked so impressive. So I think that's not a great thing. I'd rather have AJ be 270, a bit sluggish, a bit big, a bit heavy. AJ in 245 is telling AJ, you have to get in shape to fight me. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. What round do I think AJ will KO him? First round. First round, first minute. I ain't fucking about. First round, first minute. Not joking. Ade, what were your thoughts on Fury Ngannou when that was announced? That got a lot of stick, and this is a lot worse. Can I be very honest with you? I can't remember. I can't remember what I said about that, but I will say this about that. I reached out to DAZN personally and was like, I need to go over there and cover Fury versus Ngannou. I think I've told the story of this. Like, DAZN weren't very interested at the time, but I was like, I need to go over there. I need to be on ground to see this fight. I went on ground. The zone covered it. Riyadh season was born. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's all down to me, but it's all down to me. Ade, why won't Hearn or Ben ever mention Jaron Ennis as an? Why would you mention Jaron Ennis? A is 154. Connor's never mentioned going to 154, or has he? And Eddie's not stupid. Look, people, we're not silly here. Like when I say Connor can become a world champion, I point to Barrios and Roland Romero. I don't say Devin Haney. I don't say Brian Norman. I don't say Ben should go to 154 because I'm not stupid. 154 has guys like Ennis and Virgil Ortiz that are not even champions. Has Bakram, who's fighting Josh Kelly. Has Fundora. You know, like has fucking Madrimov. Has Boyshuk. Has Xander Zayas. No one's stupid. They're not dumb. They're not going to put Conor Benn in with any of those guys. The target is 147, Barrios or Rolly Romero. They know, like, it's not that they're scared to say it. They just know it's very unrealistic. Like, Conor's good, but you're talking, those guys I just mentioned are all elite fighters. Elite. We saw what Boychuk did to Ishmael Davis. We saw that. You know what I mean? And then we saw Boychuk get beat by Brandon Adams. So, no. You don't put Conor Benn in with those type of guys. You just don't do it. MMA question and super chat. Appreciate it. Hi, Ade, Ilya or Islam Makhachev? Makhachev. Ooh. Nah, Makhachev's too big. Ilya's too small. Too small. Too small. You know he is. Super chat here, super sticker. Thank you very, very, very much. All right, let's get straight back to the question. 2 secs, people. Martin Lane says, why have I got a feeling that Jake has something up his sleeve? He'll pull out, put some mad restriction on AJ, like weight can't be real. Well, I mean, we know about the restriction already, or at least that's what's been reported, that AJ has to weigh 245, which isn't a problem at all for AJ. Well, it depends, actually. I don't know how heavy AJ is right now. I haven't seen any training footage. I don't know if he's just a bit overweight, but that's probably the only restriction. I'm hearing it's 10-ounce glove, 10 ounces. Do you know what that is? Like, can you guys see those Bacardi gloves? These are, what are these? I think these what are these? 10 ounces. These are 10 ounces, people. Like, I'm scared I'm going to knock that down. There's nothing to them. There's nothing to them. Literally, God damn. That is scary. That is scary. Sean says, Ade, seriously, I think this is just AJ's way of checking in to a big gig, see if he likes the whole shebang and wants a proper big gig after. Agree? Do you mean like if he just still likes the noise of it all? Because AJ kind of just does, he almost feels like he disappears now, doesn't he? We don't really see him as much as we used to. I honestly don't think it's that. Honestly, guys, I'm being serious when I say this. Like, what would you say Jake Paul is? If we're being very, very real, right? Is Jake Paul English level, area level, cruiserweight? This is, I think we're making too much of it. This is AJ, who again is a heavyweight and a very good one. Remove the idea of it being Jake Paul. Let's just call this guy Richard. AJ is getting a check for 70 million. It says you need to fight a guy called Richard who got beat by Tommy Fury. And AJ's like, what? I'll fight him right now. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. What if AJ gets chinned? If AJ gets chinned, yeah, and me being AJ's biggest fan, I am shutting down my YouTube channel and moving to Nigeria. That's it. I'm out of here. Some of you might like that. Some of you might not. I'm done. If AJ's legs even wobble against Jake Paul, I'm out of here. I'm done. See you later. I'm gone. Americans have disrespected AJ for too long. I genuinely think Paul... Yes. You're right, sir. I genuinely think they look at AJ... And by the way, Jake Paul was there for AJ Dubois because I interviewed him. He was there. I interviewed him. He was. I think he probably looked at AJ and thought, I can chin him. I'm not joking. Because AJ's legs wobbled after the first punch that Dubois really landed. And I think Jake Paul's there thinking, you know what? I could do him, you know? And then he sees him get splattered over the canvas and he probably thinks, he's done. I can do that, kid. That's probably what it was. Was he there for that? Was he there for Usyk Dubois? I can't remember. But he's probably watched the fight and thought, you know, I can do him. Man, oh man, you're going to have a rude awakening. Imagine Paul wins by KO with a lucky punch. Hmm. Hmm. I mean, AJ doesn't have too much luck fighting in America, does he? And thank you for the super chats, by the way. Obviously, look, the last time AJ fought in America was Andy Ruiz. And no one thought he was going to lose that fight. In fact, everyone thought he was going to blow Andy Ruiz away because Andy Ruiz was a late notice opponent. Remember, it was supposed to be Jarrell Miller. Nah, ain't happening. AJ will get far more stick than Tank Davis for taking this fight. No, I don't think he will. And the reason I don't think he will is because whether you agree with this or not, Tank Davis was considered the best 135 pounder. And he was always considered the best 135 pounder that isn't fighting his fellow best 135 pounders. So we ridicule Tank because we're like, what are you doing? What are you doing, dude? Like, why are you not fighting the best out there? I don't think we can say that about AJ. AJ is someone that I feel was always wanted to fight the best. Always. I mean, come on, guys. You know this is true. Whether or not the fights have been made, he's always wanted to fight Deontay Wilder. He's always wanted to fight Tyson Fury. He's always wanted to fight those two. And those are the only two that he's not fought. Like AJ is desperate to fight Fury. You couldn't say Javante is desperate to fight Shakur Stevenson. You just couldn't say it. You couldn't say 3-4 years ago that he was desperate to fight Lomachenko or even Devin Haney. So I think that's why they're ridiculing Javante. AJ doesn't deserve any ridicule. I want to see AJ win in the USA and then I'm good. See, I put everything. Let's Ade equals AJ fanboy. You know, it's funny actually, that statement. Someone actually said to me the other day, Ade, why are you always so harsh on AJ? This is a life lesson that you can't win. So Oliver says Ade equals AJ fanboy, and then I get a couple of DMs and tweets and texts saying, why is Ade hating AJ? You can't win, people. You can't win. You just got to do you. Just do you. If AJ is doing it to shake off ring rust, doesn't knocking him out in 2 minutes achieve nothing? He wants some rounds, surely, but if he gets rounds from Jake, he's a laughing stock. I don't know if you guys saw the other day, Saturday, when His Excellency Turkey was on stage with Jamie Ward and Eddie. And Turkey mentioned AJ fighting in Saudi in February. Did you hear that? So I genuinely think that they are already planning something for AJ in February, and they just believe this is going to be like taking candy from a baby. That's how they're looking at this. That's how they should look at this, because that's how this should be. So I don't think this is shaking off the ring rust. I think this is just having a little spar, and the real ring rust or shake off the ring rust will be in February. And then he's spoken about AJ having a fight in September, and that being the biggest fight we've ever seen. So I'm guessing that's Fury. So the ring rust fight you're referring to, I think, will be February. But yeah. Macaulay Robinson says he is risking his reputation because if AJ doesn't end it in 1 to 3 rounds, he's going to get slaughtered by the media and public. Yeah, that's true. Like that one, I couldn't agree more. If he doesn't end it in a couple of rounds, he will get slaughtered. He will. I do wonder if there's a part of me that wonders if AJ will take it easy. Like is AJ going to put full fucking force into those punches to the head, or is he going to go to the body and stop him? I do wonder. I wonder if that will cross his mind. Like if Jake Paul's like splattered out, would AJ just go for the finish, like bang, or would he just go to the body and almost sort of beat him that way? I do wonder. I wonder. Was it hard not to laugh when Benavides kept calling EUBANK Urbanks? I have not watched the face-off. Obviously, I did the face-off, Benavides Yard, which I loved because it was a respectful conversation. No one threw anything. It was a nice conversation. I think a lot of people have received it very well. Thank you. I can't even remember that. It felt like years ago that I did that face-off. I need to watch it again. AJ 1 to 10, 11 to 2 Jake Paul. If this is such a no contest, why are the odds not suggesting that? I don't know. I honestly, I don't know, because maybe Americans, as someone said, think quite lowly of AJ and they're starting to put money on Jake Paul. Honestly, 1 to 10 for AJ is printing money. And I don't suggest anyone do this. I don't suggest anyone do this. But if you have 100 grand, you're literally getting 10 grand for free here. Like, there is no way that Jake Paul beats Anthony Joshua. Like, if you have 100 grand, you're making 10 grand. Like, honestly, we should all come in collectively and put money in together to raise $1 million or something, put it on our bookies. We're going to come out of 100 grand. It's just printing money. It's printing cash, this is. Printing cash. All right, a couple of super chats. Jake Valenzuela, super thank you very much, says, much love from Southern Cali. Have you seen the new boxing doc, The Four Kings, about Ben, EUBANK, Bruno, and Lewis? Much love. I have. My friend Jeanette Quatchi actually did the opening for it over here. She sat down and interviewed everyone as it was played out. I have seen it. I'm trying to think who will be the next Four Kings of this era. So it would be AJ, Fury, obviously. I'm trying to think who else. My brain's gonna Froch. Calzaghe? Hatton? Have I missed? I don't know. That's a good question. Mo12090 says, I think the worry is AJ will be undercooked if he fights someone serious after, like when facing Dubois, posting Ngannou and Volin. Good shout. You know, that's a very, very good point. Like, if AJ is planning to go in to a serious fight in February, someone in the top 15, then yeah, you're right, he'll be undercooked. That means he wouldn't have had a fight for 13, 14, 15, 17 months, something like that. Have I got that right? Fucking hell, that's a long time. A real fight for 17 months for AJ at this age, that's actually incredible. So you are correct about that. But I guess that's the risk you take for all the money, right? For all the money he's going to make, that's the risk you take. I can't see why anybody in capital letters would be against AJ fighting for millions. Let the man make the money. Then Fury next year, as Eddie says, you can't eat legacy. Yeah. You can't. You can't. It's true. Oh, okay. This is an interesting take on it. Sorry, a helicopter just went over, which fucked up my connection. William Goat 2 says, it's like when Beckham went to LA Galaxy in his early 30s. It's about raising his profile in the US. And with that context, it's a smart move. You know what? There might be something in that. There might be something in that. Plus, you're looking at what? I don't know how many are going to watch this on Netflix. 70, 80 million? So there is something in that. AJ, I almost feel like AJ, in fact, I know AJ's not cracked the American market, has he? It's not happened. Maybe this could be it. Maybe this is the start of post-career. And what better way than to knock out the loudmouth, right? The problem child in front of 70 million people on Netflix. Like, maybe that's how you do it. Maybe. If it's Fabio versus AJ in February, that means AJ's left Ben Davison. Where have you got this from? Fabio versus AJ. That's not happening. That ain't happening. No. That ain't happening. You know what? You know what I would like to see? I would love to see Fabio versus Dubois. I'm fucking all for that. Take my money now. Take everything I've got. Take everything for Fabio versus Dubois. All right. Hey, get you a missus that makes you lemon and honey because you're not feeling great. Not feeling great, but I said, you know, I've still got to do this live. Still got to do the live because the people have asked me to do the live. From white collar to world champion, surely that's a film. Dude, it's not a film, it's a whole fucking blockbuster. Some biggest movie. Like, honestly, dude, it's incredible. It's actually incredible. Like Fabio, I'm gonna call him after this. I find that mad. And it's not by fluke. You know what I mean? Like, he's beaten some good people. Like, beating Joseph Parker. Like, it's incredible. Fabio Wardley, world champion. Fucking hell. When you think about that, Dillian White wasn't world champion. Derek Chisora wasn't world champion. Joe Joyce, Olympic silver medalist, wasn't world champion. Like, these are names that you definitely would have said would have become world champion way before Fabio. It's actually incredible, man. It really is. Okay, let's adjust. Let's address this. Fucking sold out the reputation of the sport for a billfold. Absolutely can and will blame him. Why? What's he done here? Wait 1 second. Does boxing stop? Is boxing on hold because AJ is going to fight Jake Paul? Nothing else is happening? No? I mean, look, boxing has pressed pause. What are we doing? Like, this is getting ridiculous. Like, people need to chill out. Honestly, need to chill out. You know who he wants to fight, and that person won't fight him. That's all the person he wants to fight. This is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You know how many people said AJ should retire after Daniel Dubois? I think I even might have said that. Now those same people are upset that AJ is fighting Jake Paul. Can't make it up. Tottenham Joe. Ade, would you rather Joshua versus Wilder and Chisora versus Miller, or Chisora versus Wilder? Yeah, the latter. Chisora versus Wilder and Joshua versus Miller. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Joshua versus Miller. I wouldn't mind that at all. Just because we were that close to having it, right? Wouldn't mind seeing that at all. I feel like him and when I say him, I mean Miller and Eddie seem to be a bit closer now. Or have I read that wrong? They seem to be getting on a little bit. A super chat, because it's AJ gets a pass, but if this was Fury, the world and this live would be in a meltdown. Be honest, you know it's true. 1 second, Fury did the same. What? 1 second, 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Fury, when world champion. Fury, when the world number one. Fury was the world number one, undoubtedly the best in the world. Decided to put that on hold to fight fucking Francis Ngannou, who had never, ever had a boxing match. The world number one. AJ's just been knocked out. AJ, by some people's reckoning, isn't even a top 10 heavyweight. Fury was the best in the world and decided to fight Francis Ngannou. And you're saying people would have a meltdown if Fury did it. He did it. What are you talking about? He did it. He fought Ngannou and got dropped. Like, come on, man. Come on. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I think maybe Mr. HB here forgets that Fury was world champion when he did this. Like, when Fury said he wants to fight Ngannou, he was world champion, and everyone was like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Come on. Let's not forget that, dude. Let's not forget that. Come on. Come on. Stop it. Zorro says accomplishments are great in boxing, but money is more important in real life, especially after boxing. Yeah, you know what it is? You want accomplishments. I think most people get into the sport because there was a time when winning a belt equated to winning money, right? You become British champion, you get a bit of money, European champion. AJ's done all those things. So AJ's accomplished, I guess, what his goals were, right? I mean, his goals would never have been to become undisputed. I don't think anyone has that goal unless you fucking think you are just outworldly good. His goal when he became Olympic champion was, okay, I need to become world champion. So he's almost ticked all the boxes he wanted to tick. It's now bonus time. And now he's making money. Like, I don't even necessarily care for AJ becoming a 3-time world champion. It doesn't, I don't care about that. I want to see him in good fights. I want to see him versus Dubois again. I would love to see him against Wardley. I mean, I'd love to see him against Bacoli. I'd love to see him against all these guys. Philip Hergovich has been mentioned. But he's achieved what he needed to achieve, and now he's just making a bit of money. That's it. I know that pisses people off, but kind of it. Back to this one again. HB, come on, HB, man. That's kind of annoyed me a little bit. Fury was world champion, dude. And look, Ngannou was a bit different, a lot different than Jake Paul, because Ngannou was at least a fighting champion from another discipline. But Fury put the heavyweight title on hold when he wanted to have a knock with Ngannou. Now, don't get me wrong. If AJ was a world champion, or AJ was interim, or at least in a final eliminator spot for a world title and did this, trust me, I wouldn't be so kind to it, because I'd be like, 1 second, you can't do this. But he's not. He's not. Joshua O'Brien, super chat. Thank you very much, says Ade. What fights would you pick for a Matchroom versus Boxer 5 versus 5? I'd love an Oz Matchroom versus UK Boxer card. Opataya versus CBS. That needs to happen. That needs to happen. Kambosos versus Azim. Azim would light George Kambosos up. This version of George Kambosos will get lit up. Lit up. The George Kambosos that fought Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, maybe, because he might play mind games and get under the skin of Azim, but Azim would light him up. Ooh, that's a good fight. Huni versus Clark is a really, really good fight. I like that one. Wallace versus Aziz. Stylistically, I think I prefer Wallace versus Craig Richards, but another good one. Termoana versus Jimmy TKV. Termoana's too, I think he's a bit too much for TKV. Although TKV might be a bit of a problem. It was a bit of a problem for Adelaide, wasn't he? He's causing Adelaide problems. But Termoana just looks a bit too much right now, I have to admit. Looks a bit scary right now, that dude. Someone saying I should get over to Australia for January the 16th in Brisbane for Paro Donovan. Nice weather then, Ade. Love the show and glad I made it live. Normally too early. You know what? It's a great one to get over there for. Why do I feel like there's a card around that time? Caballero. When's Caballero? Can't remember. I've never been to Australia. I've never been to that side of the world. I would like to come over. Who knows? If it's on the zone, I could maybe beg the zone to, put me in the private jet, put me in the PJ with Eddie, and get over for it. This could happen. This could happen, by the way. I know Usyk has said that he will continue, but realistically, that could happen. Is Usyk retiring? Maybe. Maybe not. Bivol vacated, didn't he? Bivol vacated his WBC that Benavidez is fighting Yard for. So I don't know. Maybe he just didn't want to be rushed and pressed to fight Wardley. Maybe for him, Wardley's like, like, what do I get fighting Wardley? Maybe that's his view on it. Yard getting spanked by Benavidez. He certainly won't get spanked. Yard probably lose because Benavidez is the favorite and Benavidez is fucking scary. But I don't think he'll get spanked. Bugsy says, is this Jake Paul fight a blessing in disguise for AJ, as it will be the confidence booster he needs when he KOs him? No, not really, because I thought Ngannou was that as well. When he KO'd Ngannou, I thought, oh my God, AJ's back. And I was like, come on, let's do this. I don't think so. I think AJ knows, we know, everyone knows the difference between fighting real killers and fighting guys like Jake Paul and Ngannou. So I don't believe it is. I think he got more confidence beating Otto Volin. Remember that, where he kind of made Otto Volin quit on the stool? I think I got more confidence doing that. Putting a weight limit in a heavyweight belt is embarrassing. Don't sanction this fight if it's going to be a clown show. Yeah, it's a bit strange, that, isn't it? That being said, though, I mean, 245 isn't like he's trying to tell AJ to get down to 230. Like 245, AJ honestly was that when he fought Usyk. AJ, I'd love to know what AJ weighs right now. I'd love to know. I'm going to speak to someone from his team. I'm guessing he's around 260 something. So he would just get in fighting shape. That's it. He hasn't got long though. I mean, remember Jake Paul's been in camp because Jake Paul. Not that this matters, but Jake Paul was in camp for Javonte Davis, so he's fit. I don't know if AJ's been sparring. I don't know what AJ's been doing, but he hasn't got long to get into some sort of shape to lose the weight anyway. He hasn't got that long. I'm not giving him an excuse. I'm just saying he hasn't got that long. AJ will murder him. Hopefully not. We don't want any of that. We don't want any of that. What's this? Muhammad Ali fought a sumo wrestler before. People do things for money. Yeah. People, I was going to say that, but I didn't want people to go mad. I didn't want people to go mad. 2 secs. Kobe Garland says, did you prefer the walkouts from the first EUBANK BENN fight or the second? Second. 50 Cent. That was mad. You know that they were telling me that he's gonna walk out of a rapper. So I don't know why I just assumed it was gonna be an English rapper. So I was like, oh, it's gonna be, I don't know, Stormzy. I knew Kano was there. Kano maybe. Dizzy Rascal was there. Dizzy. 50 Cent. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It blew my mind. It blew my mind. 2 secs. You can't blame AJ for taking this fight. His promoters putting this shite on and charging for it. It's on Netflix, so it's not. You're not well. Look, I mean, technically, if you haven't got Netflix, you have to pay for Netflix, but it's on Netflix, and I'm guessing the majority of people now have Netflix, so you're actually not paying for it. It's part of your Netflix subscription. So yeah, you're not planning for it, Mr. Campbell. Anthony Vander. Anthony, what's going on, brother? Says Jake Paul will cover up big time. AJ will get him out of there, but will be round 3. Nah, it won't even be that. It won't. I'm telling you now. Even if he covers up, yeah. So even if he puts his guard up, I've been there when AJ's hit the heavy bag, and I've seen him whack that thing. Even if Jake Paul is taking those shots on the gloves, it still hits you. It's still like you can't stop it. It still gets to you. And then if he covers up there, the body's going to be open. Bruh, round 1. Brother, round 1. Telling you. What's this? AJ is saving the event with the NBA season, college football playoffs, and the NFL playoff push in late December. They needed the UK audience since the US isn't reliable. Okay. See, I don't know about all this kind of stuff. Okay. You know what? I didn't have any interest in the Javonte one either. I thought Javonte was awful at the press conference. Now, both of them is almost like a weird statue. I was like, what's going on? AJ brings something different. My boy Ariel is hosting the first press conference on Friday. This is going to be a hell of a press conference. Jake Paul might have AJ in fits because Jake Paul's quite good with his words. AJ isn't as sharp as Jake Paul is. So AJ might lose the press conference, but he's going to win the fight. He's going to win the fight. Ade, you going to Monaco for December the 6th card, Monte Carlo? Yes, I am. Headlined by Conor Walker versus Pat McCormack. You got McGrail versus Masood. I am definitely there. Johnny Fisher. Those cards are really, really good. Put a little bow tie on, little dicky bow. And I mean, who doesn't like Monaco? Monaco, beautiful. Monaco makes you wish you were rich. It makes you just think, I need to work harder. That's what Monaco does to you. When you think you got a couple of quid in the bank, and then you go to Monaco and you realize you're broke. All right, guys. Literally last like 3 minutes. Reason being, I've been on for an hour, but it isn't even that. I've got to like do something for Talk Sport. Like everyone's talking about this. I just saw a bookie that has Norman as a favorite over Haney. Over in America, they're saying Norman is going to KO Haney. We shall see. Wow. Okay. I think everyone thinks that Haney's still going through something, like suffering something. I think Haney's okay. I think he's all right. All right, last couple. I wish this live could be for 2 hours, but I've literally squeezed this live in. Trust me. You must be crazy. You must be crazy. You must, Manny Rivera, you're blocked. How do I block Manny? How do I block him? Can't block him. First press conference is this Friday. You going to Miami? Ade, I wish. Bro, don't you wish? Like, who doesn't want to go to Miami? I'm not going to Miami. I should be going, though. Like, the zone should be sending me there. I'm sorry. AJ's still a the zone fighter. I should be there interviewing. I should be there doing interviews. I ain't going. That being said, my phone's on silent. Let me just double check. Maybe someone has said, Ade, you going? Let me just check. No, nothing yet. Not going yet. Ain't going. Wait, am I going? Nah, not going. All right, guys, literally 2 minutes. Last couple of questions. I've got to do TalkSport. 1 second. What's this one? Either Fury or AJ needs to somehow obtain that WBO belt from Wardley in early 2025, so their fight in the summer gain some significance. I don't care what belt AJ and Fury, like Ben EUBANK had 60,000 in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Yes, it's the names. I get it. No belts. 0 belts. 0 belts. Who cares? I just want to see them fight. Our last question. What's this one? The only time Jake Paul actually fought an actual boxer, Tommy Fury, he lost, and Tommy Fury barely beats KSI. The levels between Tommy Fury and AJ are astronomical. So if it's anything other than a KO, I think there's a bit more to this. Wait, I'm going to read this one because it says I'm a legend at the start. Ade, you're a legend. Regarding AJ versus Paul, at what point do we stop saying, well, this fight is okay because the money is there? Like, don't we have to stand for competitive standards over dollars at some point? Yeah, you're right. You are right, Grayson. You are correct, if I'm honest with you. It is just, I don't know, man. I just want to see AJ fucking fight, right? I just want to see him fight anyone at this point. And who doesn't want to see Jake Paul have a bit of problems? Like, Jake Paul talks so much. You talked yourself into this. You've made your bed. You've made your bed, Jake. You've called out a big boy. Like, we can't be mad. For ages, everyone's been saying Jake Paul fights old people, small people, fights non-boxers. He's now fighting AJ, and Jake Paul's still getting criticized. Like, think about all the Jake Paul only fights former MMA guys. He fights basketball players, YouTubers, Mike Tyson, blah, blah, blah. He's now fighting Anthony. He's literally saying to everyone, shut the fuck up. I'm fighting AJ. What are you going to say now? So we've got to give respect to Jake. That being said, AJ M1. Peace and love. Guys, as you leave the stream, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Your boy's got to go. I'm late.